Okay, we know that change has a lot to do with new behavior. And we all know that changing behavior isn't easy. But what are the obstacles that are holding us back? Why is it so hard? Let me specify the 3 biggest obstacles to changing our behavior. A first major obstacle to behavior change is our brain's preference for habits, for automatically repeating behavior that works for us, especially in the short term. When we want to change something, often 2 processes work against each other. On the one hand, we make conscious plans. For example, we want to spend more time with our family and on exercising. But on the other hand, our brain strongly prefers repeating behavior that works, that feels good, and that doesn't cost too much energy or trouble. So we stay at the office just a little too long, and at home we'd rather watch a TV show than going for a run. Yes, by rewarding new behavior and repeating it often, you can form new habits. But research shows that even developing very simple new habits that you've chosen yourself and which are intended to replace existing patterns, such as eating some fruit at lunchtime or performing a new physical exercise before breakfast, costs us more than 2 months on average. And more complex behavior takes even longer. A second key obstacle to behavior change is the strong tendency we have of avoiding pain, discomfort, and loss. Our brain responds much more strongly to discomfort, pain, and loss than to comfort, pleasure, and gain. We recognize painful events more quickly and remember them for longer. Fun fact: behavioral economists have proven that losing a sum of money has between 2 and 2.5 times more impact on us than winning that exact same amount. And we're just talking about money here, and not about personal possessions or social assets such as status and friendship. In these cases, the difference between the experience of gain and loss is even bigger. Some psychologists say that our brain's most important task is to avoid direct and personal loss. Our brains focus on me here now, and not on you there later. That's good for survival, but bad for change. The third barrier to behavior change is that our behavior is closely intertwined with the immediate environment. If the physical or social environment doesn't change, neither do we. Here's a weird example. I once spoke to an organizational psychologist with a public transportation company. Do you know, he said, what bus drivers regularly do when they drive into town in their own cars? Any idea? They stop at bus stops, and they don't realize it until after they've stopped. This is a typical example of a process we call conditioning. If you are always rewarded for a certain behavior in a specific situation, that behavior will become automatic in the end. A specific trigger in the environment, for instance a bus stop sign, will trigger that behavior without you being aware of it. Behavioral economist and Nobel Prize winner Richard Thaler puts it like this. He says, "This is one of the basics in life. Behavior is, to a large extent, determined by the environment. So to change our behavior, we must almost always change our environment."